So break is over, guys. Come back. Let's start. अरे आ जाओ भाई आ जाओ. कम कम कम. I think some people were not taking coffee. They were taking something else. Okay. So what you people took in the break? Okay. ठीक है. At the break time, who was there in the kitchen? Okay. So कौन था kitchen में, है ना? In the break time. Okay. Taking what? Something else. Okay. So Indian population is very concerned about कि रसोड़े में कौन था. So they are not concerned about education, healthcare, job, this coronavirus crisis, है ना. They are more concerned about yes, रिया drugs लेती है ना, देती है ना, plus रसोड़े में कौन था. That is what Indian people concern right now is, plus IPL. After some time their all concern will be today's IPL match, who will win, who will hit the longest six. Clear. So IPL, रिया, ओके. और क्या है इनका, एक रसोड़े में कौन था, है ना. सो दैट इज व्हाट द कंसर्न. ओके. वॉइस नहीं यार, वॉइस तो आ रही होगी. आफ्टर सम टाइम देयर ऑल. ओके. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. ओके. सही है ना. सो एनबीई और एमसीआई में कौन गया था. ओके. मैं गया था, तुम गए थे, कौन गया था, कौन कौन था, ठीक है, इनके पास. ओके. सो एनबीई. ओके. हाँ, अब नया शुरू कर दिया ये कंगना वाला, है ना. क्लियर. पता है एक ही लाइन बोलते हैं, ये सारे मिलके हमें डैश बना रहे हैं. ठीक है. डैश के बच्चे, समझ में आ गया. तो ये सारे के सारे मिलके हमें सी बना रहे हैं भाई. सी मतलब क्यूट, क्रिएटिव, समझ गया ना. सो ये सारे मिलके सी बना रहे हैं. ठीक है ना. चलो. ओके. हाँ, बाबा नित्यानंद, मतलब मज़ा आता है, मतलब कॉमेडी शो चलता है. चलो. अरे कम बैक विल स्टार्ट. ओके. ओके. देखो हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, पढ़ाई. देखो वी आर वर्किंग हार्ड. ओके. वी आर लर्निंग, ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व क्वेश्चन, ट्रीट पेशेंट्स. क्लियर. वी वांट टू वर्क. देखो यहाँ पे वर्क करने को नहीं मिल रहा. दे आर आस्किंग 3rd 4th ईयर एमबीबीएस स्टूडेंट्स टू कम एंड वट हेल्प इन वार्ड्स. ओके. 3rd ईयर कुछ नहीं आता 3rd ईयर को. मैं पहले ही बता रहा हूँ, 3rd ईयर एमबीबीएस स्टूडेंट इज नॉट हैविंग एनी आइडिया अबाउट वट एनी ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट्स. ओके. वो बेचारा बस फाइल इधर से उधर कर दे, बहुत बड़ी बात है. सैम्पलिंग, all IV line, okay, anything, okay, even Foley's, intubation, nothing, he know nothing. Okay. So that's why asking them is this. Okay. You people still have enough clinical exposure and this that you can work in any capacity. There are so many FMGs who work without passing MCA exam and they are doing very well. Okay. Some are even managing the entire wards. Okay. Why? Because they learn and they are able to manage things on their own. Clear. So I don't know what they are doing. They should allow FMGs to practice, at least give them some temporary permission license. ठीक है. Based on that they can give some discount. Like service candidate, those who are doing service, like who are medical officer, they get 30% marks in PG exam. So that's why service quota is there, plus they get extra marks. So if you can give something to people doing service, let FMG service do some service, so some rural work 1 year, and then you can give some concession marks. I don't know what they are doing. They are so stubborn. 50% लाओ तो पास हो जाओ. ठीक है. और फिर पेपर बनाएंगे ऐसा कि 50 भी ना आए. मतलब ये है कि, है ना, मारेंगे भी हम ही और कूटेंगे भी हम ही. ठीक है. चलो. ओके. फाइन. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. ओके. ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगा, पता लगे मुझे बैन कर दिया इन लोगों ने. ठीक है ना. क्लियर. एंड प्रॉब्लम इज यू कांट से एनीथिंग. ओके. क्लियर. इफ यू से एनीथिंग people will immediately run after you. Okay. Anyone. Okay. Clear. Even our own faculty member will come to you. Okay. Already that institute people, you know, they are after me, you know this na. So they are after me and Azam sir. They keep making all kind of allegation against me. Okay. Clear. And yes, so I will not say anything. Okay. Yes, Binods everywhere. Binod and Binods everywhere. Okay. Chalo. Okay. Yes, it's a bias system. Okay. Bias. And how do you remove the bias? Yes, randomization and matching. Okay. Clear. So bias is mainly blinding. And what is the blinding? let FMG and Indian medical give the same exam, and that is what the whole idea of next is. So how can the bias be removed? By next exam. Let next come and we will show that you people are not inferior to anyone. Okay, chalo. Yes. Okay, so we'll start. Okay, so please, I want all of you to see all of you as doctors working, because whenever I go to a hospital, I see you and I feel so happy. I go, Are sir, Are sir, Are sir. Like all JRs, PGs, they know me. Some are, yes, students from long time back, and it feels so happy that I am not practicing, but at least my students are practicing and treating the patients. Okay, chalo. So let's start with the next topic. The next topic is the volume changes during cardiac cycle. Okay, and I just forgot to write the values of pressure. Let me write the values of pressures. Okay, so write the pressure changes during cardiac cycle. So pressure changes during the cardiac cycle. Okay, so we will start. First is the right atria pressure. So we know right atria pressure is equal to what? Obviously it is equal to what? Yes, it is equal to the JVP. Why? I told you no valves. So right atria pressure is equal to jugular venous pressure. Okay, clear? Next is, so JVP. Okay, next is we will also be knowing something called as the central venous pressure. Okay, and also called as CVP. What is CVP? Central venous pressure. Now it is such a important value that it is one of the most important criteria for shock. Why? I'll tell you. Okay, CVP give an idea whether the shock is cardiogenic in origin or not. I'll give a very simple idea. Let's say heart failed to pump the blood, so blood will accumulate in the atria and CVP will increase. So that is why increased CVP indicate cardiogenic shock or obstructive shock, which is again a type of cardiogenic only. So if heart is not able to pump, the blood will accumulate in the ventricles atria, and this indicate increased CVP. So that's why we see a increased CVP or JVP. That indicate what? There is a cardiogenic shock. And if there is no blood in the body, how can the heart pump? In that case, there will be less blood in the heart itself. So therefore, decreased CVP indicate primarily what shock? Hypovolemic shock. Hypovolemic shock. Also in anaphylactic shock, the blood accumulate in veins. So even anaphylactic shock, you can see this. Okay, and also anaphylactic. Why? Less blood coming to heart. So in this case, the heart is not pumping, so blood accumulate. Okay, so as heart fail to pump the blood accumulates, and that is why there is a increased pressure CVP. And if there is a shock in which there is poor filling of the blood, poor venous run, it causes a decreased CVP. So that is why CVP is so important in shock, because it gives the idea what treatment we need to give. If hypovolemic shock, then we need to obviously give fluids. If anaphylactic, we need to give what? Adrenaline. If cardiogenic, then obviously we need to correct the pumping of the heart by either giving diuretics or the inotropic agents like the dopamine, dobutamine or digitalis, etc. So are you clear? So this is the concept. Okay, so let's move next. Okay, what is the normal value of the JVP? It is 0 to 5 mmHg. or 0 to 8 centimeter H2O. So remember what the conversion factor I told you, 1 mmHg is roughly equal to how much? It is roughly equal to how much? Let me explain. What is the value? Yes, it is roughly equal to 1.36 centimeter H2O. So I hope you are able to understand this. Okay, so that is the mathematical equation here. Okay, now what is the pressure in the left atria? So please copy this. So pressure in the left atria. Okay, so pressure in the left atria. So let's say left atria. Left atria. Okay, yes, 1.3. So left atria pressure, right, number 2, is equal to 5 to 10 mmHg, or around 13 centimeter of water. No need to write, just ignore. Okay, and this indicate, yeah, this pressure is very similar and it is very close to PCWP. So please copy PCWP. What is that? It is pulmonary capillary wedge pressure. Now you will ask me, sir, what is pulmonary capillary wedge pressure? Understand, pulmonary capillary blood goes to pulmonary vein and pulmonary vein goes to left atria. So you can just understand the logic. Pulmonary capillary, pulmonary vein, and pulmonary vein goes to left atria. So I hope it's clear. So obviously if there is any problem in the left side, okay, or anything, this will cause what? Let's say there's a failure of the left heart, so it cannot pump, so blood will accumulate in and then it goes to left ventricle. Now if left ventricle fail, it cannot pump blood forward, so this cause the blood to accumulate in the left atria. So left atria pressure will rise if the left ventricle fail, and that will cause pressure rising all the way in the capillary. So that is why the left atria pressure and pulmonary capillary pressure are almost similar to each other. So if ventricles fail to pump the blood, what will happen? If left ventricle fail, the left atrial pressure rise, so left atrial pressure will increase. Okay, in LVF it will accumulate and this pressure will rise, and that cause a back pressure change and pulmonary capillary pressure rise. And as the pulmonary capillary pressure, that is PCWP, rise, increase, okay, how much? As it become more than 25 mmHg, it cause the filtration of fluid out of capillaries, and that causes pulmonary edema. Okay, that causes pulmonary edema. So that is why pulmonary edema is a very common feature of which failure? Left heart failure. Which thing? Pulmonary edema is a very, very important feature of what? Yes, pulmonary edema. Okay, and pulmonary edema, they ask very commonly feature. So it has two main things. One is it has septal lines, also called as the curly B lines. Curly B lines and bat wing appearance. In X-ray, chest X-ray. So chest X-ray show what two features in pulmonary edema, and understand pulmonary edema is not pleural effusion. Pleural effusion is fluid in the pleural cavity. Edema is in the proper alveoli interstitial space. Are you clear? So that is what is called as the curly B lines and bat wing appearance. Are you clear? So I'll just show you the bat wing appearance and this. Okay. Yeah. So bat wing, you can see it. See. So you can see bilateral fluid is there, okay, and this is what is called as bat wing appearance. Okay, so can you see this opaque region? this opaque region that you can see is the pulmonary edema. Clear? So what do you see? You can see there is fluid which is filled in the perihilar region. This opacities are there. Okay, clear? And this is called as the bat wing appearance. Okay, clear? This white area is all fluid. Okay, so white area is all fluid. Okay, and with the fluid there is no CP blunting etc. Is mainly what? In the interstitium. Okay, so call as what? The bat wing appearance. Yeah, is better. Clear? So just copy this and show here. Okay, so please have a look so you can see it yourself. Okay, so what are we going to see? This is the classical bat wing. Can you see these things? So these are the fluids. Can you see these white area? They are the fluid, but this fluid is where? It is not in pleural cavity, otherwise it will be all white. Let me give example. See, if you see all white like this, this is, yes, this is what is called as the, yes, pleural effusion, which cause complete whitening. Okay, but if you see not complete but what, this whitish areas, this indicate pulmonary edema, and it is one side, both the side. Obviously there will be filling of fluid in both the area near the vessels. So this is basically this, and mainly it is a base which is showing the edema more. So that is what is called as the bat wing appearance. Can you see the bat? Small bat. So this is a small bat with the wings. So this shape of the fluid accumulation, we have seen the bat, is called as a bat wing appearance. This one. You've seen Batman, na? So it's the symbol of Batman. Okay, so Batman like thing is called as the, yes, pulmonary edema. Again it can be asked, okay, in the exams. Okay. Done? Okay. Yes. Okay, if CP angle blunt, see there is no CP angle blunting. Can you see? CP angle is normal. There is no CP blunting. Can you see? Here CP angle is not blunt. So it's not pleural effusion. So that's why there is no. Yes, it can occur. Again I am telling you, in case of ventricular failure, there could be a non-inflammatory pleural effusion also. Okay, so there could be, I am saying, but in this case there is no pleural effusion. It is just pulmonary edema. Are you clear? Plus we can also see the borders of heart expanding, showing a, yes, a cardiomegaly also. Okay, so are you clear here? Chalo. So let's move next. Okay, so that is why, when does pulmonary edema occur? Which failure? Left ventricular failure, LVF. LVF. Why? Because as there is a LVF, the blood will not be going where? The blood will not be going to the body. It accumulates where? In the lungs. Okay, and if blood accumulate in the lung, can you see this? Left ventricle give blood to the body. So now it is not giving the blood to body. So where will the blood accumulate? In the atria, pulmonary vein, pulmonary capillary. Capillary will just give the blood out into what? Interstitium and alveoli, remember, and that causes the edema, and this is showing curly B lines and bat wing appearance. Okay. Okay, now let's start with the next concept. Next we see is the pressure changes. In which area? In the ventricles. Okay, so ventricular pressure changes, right? LV, RV, systole, diastole, systole, diastole. Okay, so what is the pressure of left ventricle and the right ventricle in systole and diastole? Okay, so let's start the concept. First is the left ventricle is 120 and this is 25. I discussed that already. Okay, and in diastole, what is the pressure? It is not 80. That is your misconception. Why? Because 80 is aorta and artery, not ventricle. Ventricle is 0 and 0. You will say, sir, why 0? The answer is simple. In diastole, ventricles relax and pressure fall almost to 0, and when the pressure fall to 0, what happens? See, This is the ventricle. If the pressure is 80 here and 5 here in the left atria, will the AV valve open? No. So to open the AV valve, the pressure should be lower than the atria. So that is why a pressure fall below atria. Below atria. Then AV valve open and filling occur. Then AV valves open and filling occur. So that is why the pressure of the ventricles in diastole is equal to which value? It is equal to almost 0 mmHg. Atria is 5. That is why filling can take place. If the pressure was 80, AV valve will close. So what is the pressure? Answer is, it is very, very low. It is equal to almost 0. So once again, what is the pressure of left ventricle in systole? 120. What is the pressure of ventricle in diastole? 0 and 0. Why 0? To enable opening up of AV valve. So why is it 0? So that AV open and filling occur. Are you clear? If you make it 80, the valve will close. So it is not 80, it is 0. Not 80, 0. So what is the pressure of the left ventricle? 120, 80. Right ventricle? 25, 0. 25, 0. Now one question. If there is a partition between the two ventricles, okay, what is the name of the partition? It is called as the what? Ventricular septum. Okay, so remember, the two ventricles are separated from each other by what thing? By the ventricular septum. Are you clear? So both ventricles. This is the right ventricle, let's say left and right ventricle. So that is why the IV septum is there. Now if there is a gap in the IV septum, this gap is called as VSD. Okay, so there is a opening in IV septum. This is called as ventricular septal defect. So what will happen? So obviously, if there is an opening, the blood will go from one ventricle to other. So it will go from high to low, low to high. So obviously it will go from higher to lower pressure. So it causes a shunting of blood, that is shifting. Shunting of blood where? From left ventricle to right ventricle. So where is the shunting occurring? From the left ventricle to the right ventricle. Okay, call as what? Left right shunt. So left right shunt. Okay, now this shunt is operational in both systole diastole or only in systole. The answer is only in systole, not in diastole. Why is the shunt not operational in diastole? The answer is in diastole 0 0. दो अंडे मिलके कुछ नहीं कर सकते, दो अंडों से कुछ नहीं होता, साथ में मतलब कुछ और भी चाहिए है ना. So that's why two zeros do nothing. So that is why we need the pressure. So therefore in what period? In systole. In systole. So that's why will it cause an abnormal flow? So that is why there is a flow occurring between atria ventricle, between the two ventricles, So this cause a abnormal sound. So it causes shunt, cause a murmur, and this murmur would be systolic, diastolic. Obviously systolic. Which period of systole? Continuously in the systole. Why? Because continuously the blood will go from the left to the right. So it cause a pan-systolic murmur. So it cause a pan-systolic murmur. So pan-systolic murmur is a feature of which condition? Answer is ventricular septal defect, VSD. Okay. So now are you able to understand? That is why physiology is very important. Most people, they directly go and sit in a medicine teacher class, or they open the medicine class in app, and then after some time they are just mugging, writing, copying. They understand 2 or 3 concepts and they say yes, I understood. But most of the time they are just copying, and they end up having a hatred and a resistance, medicine resistance. Remember, like there is a insulin resistance, same way they develop up. And if someone try to ask them to study more medicine, they get more and more irritated कि अरे क्या पढ़ना पड़ रहा है यार, and they sometimes skip. And that is, I'm telling you, understand, it is logical, nothing hi-fi there, very basic stuff. Okay, so done. Okay, VSD. Now we see the volume changes. So what is the topic now? Volume changes. So please copy. So volume changes. In cardiac cycle. So first is very important, very famous EDV. What is EDV? End diastolic volume. So what is EDV? It is end diastolic volume. So EDV is what? End diastolic volume. Okay. Okay. Now next is, what is that? So first, what is the normal value? It is 120 to 130 ml. So 120 to 130 ml. Okay. Now what is the concept? It is blood filled in ventricle at the end of diastole. In simple language, how much blood ventricles accumulate in diastole is called what? End diastolic volume. Are you clear? So end diastolic volume. End diastolic volume. Okay. How much it is? 120 to 130 ml. Are you clear? So 120 to 130 ml. Now comes the question. Question is about the EDV itself. The question is, okay, what does the EDV depends on and what are the conditions in which it is affected? So let me explain very important thing. Okay. EDV depend on stretching power of ventricle called as ventricular compliance. Ventricular compliance. Okay. And if ventricles are having stiff walls, example, this constrictive pericarditis, okay, causes stiff, you can say stiffening around the ventricles. They can't stretch properly, they can't fill up properly in this case. Are you clear? And as they are unable to fill properly, or this, what happens? They have poor filling. So that cause what? Poor filling. Due to, okay, poor compliance. Okay. So that is why it causes diastolic function, dysfunctions. Okay. So therefore it causes poor filling due to poor compliance. Okay. And second, it depends is on the venous return, which I discussed already to you. So there are two factors, heart factor and the return factor. Now what is return? VR. It is blood coming back to heart. So the blood coming back to heart is called as what? It is called as the venous return. It is called as the venous return. I hope it's clear. So blood coming back to heart is our venous return. Easy, fine. So it is the venous return. So first question, what is EDV? The blood filled in the heart. What is the two things it depends on? How much heart can stretch. So let's say my heart is stiff. Okay, maybe it is having some kind of let's say HOCM etc., in which the ventricle becomes so stiff, so hard it cannot stretch. So filling is impaired. So it causes impaired filling. Or there is a pressure around the ventricle like constrictive pericarditis. So ventricles are again not able to stretch and fill, like lungs. Remember, so the word we use in lungs was restrictive lung disease. So lungs are restricted from moving. Same way the lungs are compressed, they are pressurized, so they are unable to stretch because of inflammation of pericardium. So that's why again they cause poor filling and poor pumping by the heart. Second factor is return. how much blood is coming back to the heart from the body. Okay, so it is called as venous return. Okay, now question is, if EDV increase, what will happen to the venous this work done by the heart? It will increase. So remember, increase EDV will increase load on ventricle. What? When they are relaxing, during relaxation, that is even before contraction. Even before contraction. So even before contraction, hence called as preload. Hence it is called as the preload. Okay, so how to remember this? See, pre. Why pre? Because it's before the contraction. Previous. And what is the word for load? It is burden. So load is burden. Clear? Fine. Okay. Clear? Okay, fine. Now comes the question, second value is SV. What is SV? Stroke volume. Stroke volume. Now definition in normal is 70 to 80 ml. Definition, it is blood pumped by ventricle per beat. So are you clear? So blood pumped by ventricle per beat is called what? It is called the stroke volume. Okay, and understand, stroke volume is one of the best criteria for pumping. Okay, but problem is what? Problem is a child will have a smaller heart and an adult will have a bigger heart. So the stroke volumes will differ, but that cannot give you an idea about the efficiency. I'll give example. Okay, there are two students. Okay, I'll tell you their marks. Okay, one is Chunnu and other is Munnu, or rather I'll write Munnu Chunnu. Why? MC हो गया ना, अच्छा लगा लिखने में, MC सही है. तो Munnu and Chunnu. Okay, now Munnu got 43 marks and he got 93 marks. Okay, so Munnu is getting 43, Chunnu 93. So if you want to give a chocolate, so you will give the chocolate to which kid? Will you give it to Munnu or Chunnu? Munnu or Chunnu? Who should get your chocolate? Tell me the answer. Munnu or Chunnu? चलो, okay, people are replying, very good. ओके, अरे भाई क्या बोल रहे हो? Okay. So yes, the answer is right. Out of, let's say, is getting out of 50 and is getting out of 200. So who is Nalayak? Who is CCC? So he is चुन्नू. ये बहुत बड़ा C है. So that is why चुन्नू को चॉकलेट नहीं देंगे, हम देंगे मुन्नू को. ओके, क्लियर, फाइन. सो दैट इज द केस. ओके, हिमांशु भाई ट्राई कर रहे हैं. मीटिंग का कुछ नहीं पता लगा क्योंकि इंटरनल मीटिंग थी. ठीक है, हमको नहीं बुलाते. क्लियर है, सही है. बट वी आर स्टिल ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट व्हाट हैपेंड and what is the decision. Okay, one thing is sure ki yes, they are going to give you correction marks. They are not called as grace marks. Grace marks is when someone fail and then they add marks. Okay, they are called as technical, you can say, corrections. So they are giving the marks on the basis of technicalities ki some question was not attempted or some question was wrong or time was short. Let's say they do a calculation that what is the time taken for a normal student to solve the paper, and they say he will take, let's say, 5 hours and 30 minutes. So 30 minutes is extra. So that 30 minutes is, let's say, approximately close to what? It is close to 15 or 10% of time. So are you getting the question? So that is what is happening. They will try to find out the best possible solution. But right now we cannot comment. It is not known to us also. And even if we know, I cannot give the exact version because it is official. Okay, clear? So otherwise I will be in trouble for leaking the information I got. Okay, so therefore, but I am telling you, you will get compensation. Okay, fine. Okay, yes. तो इसलिए मुन्नू को दे रहे हैं. अब बोले नहीं सर ये तो ये लो 200 में से लाए, तो अब ये बेवकूफ़ हो गया. सो दैट इज वाई देयर इज नो क्राइटेरिया ऑफ डिसाइडिंग ऑन द बेस ऑफ मार्क्स. ये तो फिर भी 2 स्टूडेंट्स है. लेट्स से 1 स्टूडेंट से यू वांट टू नो माय फिजिक्स मार्क्स. यू से हाउ मच यू गॉट इन फिजिक्स. ही से आई गॉट 99 मार्क्स. हाउ मच? 99. अब बोलते वाह 99, ग्रेट, कमाल कर दिया भाई, तुम तो ज़बरदस्त हो. ठीक है, फिर पूछते हो कितने में से लाया, कहता 300 में से लाया हूँ मैं, अभी पास भी नहीं हो रहा. सो दैट इज़ वाई यू शुड नॉट आस्क मार्क्स, यू शुड आस्क परसेंटेज. यू शुड आस्क व्हाट थिंग, यू शुड आस्क द परसेंटेज इन दिस केस. ओके, फाइन. Okay. 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 So yes. So don't worry about everything. Okay. We are trying hard. Okay. Clear. And again, I can tell you, we are nobody. If I tell you the truth in front of NBE, MCI, government, we don't stand a chance. Okay, I was a part of government system, MCI system 10 years back. Okay, clear. When I was a senior resident and then I become a assistant professor. At that time, yes, I used to work. Okay, my guide was the, you can say, ADG in medical education, health ministry. So that time Nirmal Bhavan. So I used to go there and he used to give me task. That time I used to go for MCI inspection, you know, college inspection. So I used to go for that MCI inspection of medical colleges, private medical colleges. So I used to go for that. That time I had lots of link, etc. But then I started entering what? Coaching. And once you start entering the coaching business, you are in a private business and they will simply ask you to leave, because this government system never ever interact or meet with the private system. Okay, so therefore technically if I tell you, they don't even consider as proper faculties. Only people who are MD, MS, then doing fellowship, then getting interview by UPSC, they are proper faculties. They are the ones who are making the question. Okay, good thing is my friends, my batchmates, my senior, they are all proper gadgeted faculties in medical colleges like MEMC, Morazad, AIMS, and they help us in getting the information. Clear? And maybe some kind of sifarish thoda bahut, but we don't have any power over NBMCI. That's why we ask you people to help us in approaching them by getting them letters, email, but we don't have any power directly. ए सर ये क्या कर रहे हो, सुनते नहीं हो, ऐसा हम नहीं कर सकते. Okay, we can just request, and we are very hopeful that they are realizing this कि they need to do some correction, otherwise the result will be so pathetic, and then people will gather outside NB office and they will put petrol and might burn them. So till now only MCI people were facing the protest. Now NB will also face the protest after that. मतलब तुम तो थे ही थे MC, अब तुम भी B बन गए हो, है ना, समझ रहे हो? So that is a problem. Okay, चलो. So let's come back. So therefore, what is better? Number or percentage? Yes, percentage. So that is why we use a value called as ejection fraction, EF. What is EF? Ejection fraction. Okay. So what is EF? Ejection fraction. Are you clear? So EF is what? Ejection fraction. Okay. Okay. Now what do you mean or understand by the ejection fraction? Okay, it is percentage. It is percentage of blood pumped by ventricles per beat. Are you clear? So what is the concept? It is percentage of blood pumped by ventricles per beat. Is it clear? So what is the difference? It is amount or percentage? It is percentage. Okay, so what is the formula of EF? It is stroke volume by EDV into 100. So it is stroke volume by EDV into 100. Are you clear? So stroke volume by EDV into 100. Okay. Okay. Now comes the question. Okay. First is what is SV by EDV gives this. So the normal value, it is 65%. How? Let's solve. You take it 80 ml by 120 ml into 100. So how much will you get? Approximately 66%, and 66% is approximately 65 we take. Okay, so that is how you calculate. Okay, now so what is best index? So ejection fraction is best. It is a best indicator of ventricular functions. And efficiency. So basically, how do you record it? EF, it is basically given by echo. So when you do a echo, that is echocardiography, we see the heart, we see the volumes, and you calculate the ejection fraction. So what is the best indicator of the ventricular pumping? Answer is ejection fraction. Answer is ejection fraction. Now comes a question. Question is, ejection fraction which is present here will have a very important role in the functioning. What is the important role? Right. If ventricular failure occur, okay, the best index is ejection fraction. There is a decrease ejection fraction. How much? Less than 40-45%. So that's why people who are there for investigation of cardiac function. So what do you order as a doctor? Let's say a patient come for surgery and you order what? Pre-anesthetic evaluation, also called as PAC or PCA. So for this checkup, you ask the patient about the spirometry. So we record all his lung function, and in the cardiac function we use ejection fraction. So if ejection fraction is falling, the ventricles are compromised and they will very soon undergo complete shutdown. So that's why ejection fraction is one of the most important investigations. Okay. Now fourth is ESV. So what is the fourth investigation? ESV. What is ESV? And systolic volume. So what is ESV? And systolic volume. So as you can assume, it is blood left in ventricles at the clear Okay, so it is blood left in ventricle at the end of, okay, so it is blood left in ventricle at the end of, at the end of what, end of systole. Okay, so the formula of ESV, EDV minus SV. Okay, clear? Okay, so ESV minus, okay, so EDV minus SV give you the ESV. Okay, so the normal value, normal is around 40-50 ml. Now let me summarize everything in a simplified manner so that you don't have any kind of confusion left in your brain. So please pay attention, understand. First is let's say you have exam every, let's say, week. Okay, so we'll be having an exam of physiology soon. So exam is just like a test. Okay, sorry, like a cardiac cycle is like cycle. So number of questions you are given, let's say you are given how many questions, 100. So how many questions you are given, 100 MCQ. Okay, 100. And how many you solve, attempt or get correct, let's say 70. So how many you leave unattempted, is 30. And what is your percentage, what is your, is 70%, yes or no? So let me explain. Let's say you're giving a exam which is like a cardiac cycle. So in the exam you got 100 questions and then you solve 70, 30 you leave and 70% is your this. So question is, this is very similar, like this 100 is, let's say, EDV. It is like EDV. This is stroke volume. So how much you had, 100 ml, how much you pumped, 70, so how much left, ESV. And what is your ejection fraction? That is 70. Easy, that is 70. Clear? That is 70. And that means it indicate what, load, it indicate the preload, this indicate the pumping, this indicate the left blood, okay, and this indicate the efficiency. Okay, so this indicate the efficiency. Okay, easy. Now let me write a summary in which you will not forget it ever and ever. Okay, so understand. Okay, so what is EDV? It is blood filled. Then what is SV? Blood pumped. What is ESV? It is blood left. And what is ejection fraction? It is percentage pumped. So I hope it's easy now. So now that is a logical case. Okay, and remember what happens in failure. A failing student will get what, right answers less and wrong answer more. So that's why let's say it is a good students. Okay, so let's say it's a good ventricle, normal ventricle and a failed ventricle. Okay, so let's start. Let's say normal ventricle 100 ml, 100 ml, both get 100. But a good ventricle pump, let's say 70 ml and leave 30 ml. Percentage is 70%. But a failing ventricle is pumping, let's say 40 ml. So how much is pumped? Left 60 ml. What is the ejection fraction? So that's why what is happening? Ejection fraction is decreased, stroke volume is decreased, and ESV is increased. So remember, if you are failing, in failure the ESV increase. Why? You are not able to pump the blood. So blood accumulate in the ventricle, causing a distension of the ventricular chamber. Why? You pump 40 ml. So what is left behind? 60 ml. Normal ventricle leave just 30 ml. So that is why if you solve very few questions, lots of questions are left unattempted, and that is a problem. A good student solve 70, leave 30, and a bad student, poor student, solve very few, leave lots of questions. So this is what happened in failure. So what happens in failure? You can write down decrease SV, decrease ejection fraction, decrease SV, decrease ejection fraction, and increase ESV. and also decrease cardiac output, decrease BP, and that causes shock, cardiogenic shock, and that is what is called as cardiogenic shock. Okay, so all of you understood? So these are the ventricles, their volumes. Okay, now we will see the other important concepts. Okay, so what are the other important concepts? Okay, so let's start. Okay, okay, now we will see the factors which affect the venous returns. Madam, VR. What is VR? Venous return. What is VR? Venous return. Okay. Now first is factor number 1 is gravity. Gravity, also called as posture. Why? Because when you are standing, the blood accumulate in legs, but when you lie down, the blood shift to the lungs. Okay, so standing, there is decreased VR due to venous pooling in leg veins. Are you clear? So standing, there is decreased VR. Now is it having some clinical implication? So what is the case? That is why when you do a prolonged standing, it can cause fainting. So that is why what happens, that is why sometime prolonged standing cause what? Cause too much venous pooling. So decrease EDV, decrease VR, decrease EDV, decrease what? Stroke volume, decrease cardiac output, decrease BP, and this decreased BP causes fainting. Causes fainting, also called as syncope or syncope, something like that. Okay, so this is called as a syncope or syncope or whatever you can say. Are you clear? So is it clear now? So we are having all these changes. Done? Okay. So fainting or syncope. Okay. Okay. Now what is the second phenomena? Second is when you lie down, the blood remain in the leg. Let me show. This is standing. So where is the blood? So blood is accumulating in the legs. Can you see this? So the heart and the brain are getting less blood. So there is decreased blood to the heart and brain. That is why standing for long time is problem. Remember example 15th August, 26th January. Remember school? So in the school the drama start. Which drama? The patriotism drama. Okay, so we are asked to stand like this, है ना? And as you're standing, the return is decrease, and then it fall, and the person faint. And whenever a person faint, we all look back. कौन गिरा बे? कौन गिरा? है ना? देखते हैं ना? And when the person faint, this person faint. लग रहा मर गया. Okay. So when the person faint, this kid faint. The what teacher reaches there? The PT teacher. And the PT teacher first statement is what? Today's kid, they have no stamina, they can't even stand for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, Master G, we are standing since morning 6 o'clock, 2 minutes. And then his second classical statement, these kids, they have no stamina. In our time, we used to stand whole day, we used to walk 35 kilometers, we used to swim rivers. है ना? I don't know what these kids will become when they grow up. Doctors. We will become doctors, Master G. है ना? So that is the case. Okay, so that is the issue. And after some time what happens? When you faint, the blood will remain in the legs or the blood will start shifting to the heart. So that is why in supine posture the blood shift to the brain and the problem is solved. So that is why in supine posture what happens? Increase venous return. increase venous return. Okay, so that is why supine posture is a automatic correction mechanism. Okay, so if a person faint, don't try to make him sit or stand, okay, like Indians do. So very common problem in Indian, the moment someone faint, the Indians gather around, ऐसे पूरे इंडियन उसको घेर लेते हैं. वो देखा ना आपने, वो कौन सा वीडियो एस्ट्रोनॉमिका वाला जिसमें आते हैं 4 लोग, ऐसे पूरा घेर लेते हैं उसको, ठीक है, एंड दे सक ऑल द ऑक्सीजन. फर्स्ट रूल इज अ फेंटेड पर्सन शुड नॉट बी हैविंग एनी ओवरक्राउडिंग, ठीक है, सो यू शुड नॉट. सेकेंड, दे विल ब्रिंग देयर स्टूपिड आइडिया लाइक मेक हिम स्मेल द सॉक्स, है ना, smell, है ना, so your socks will trigger epilepsy. Please don't kill him with your socks. Stupid idea, okay? And when they transport the person, how do they transport person in India? Two will lift the leg, two will lift the hand, and the neck is unsupported, so neck will fall downwards and cause cervical injury. Remember, hyperextension, whiplash, and it cause death. And then they say, अरे ये तो मर गया बेचारा, the person died while we were transporting. अरे you killed him by doing this unwanted maneuvers. So please support the neck when you are transporting any unconscious person, otherwise it can cause a whiplash and death of the person. So please, 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 with folded hand, if someone faint, try to help them, not create problem like making them smell their socks or shoe, please. Okay, okay, fine. So now other clinical importance. Okay, so let's see other clinical importance. Okay, so supine posture clinical implication. Clinical, when a person is standing or sitting, the blood is where in the leg, but if you lie down, the blood will go to heart and the lung, so it causes increased blood flow to the lung, and if there's an increase, the edema, congestion will increase. So what happens is, therefore, on lying supine, okay, lying supine, that is straight, okay, also called as ortho. Ortho means straight. Ortho, straight, okay. What happened? There is increased venous return to heart and lungs. Okay, clear? Now, if there is LVF, left ventricular failure, okay, already lungs are congested and have pulmonary edema. So they are already congested and have pulmonary edema. So this edema will now decrease or increase. Tell me, if I am sitting, the blood is in leg, but when I lie down, the blood from my leg goes to my heart, and the heart will pump it where? The right ventricle, to the lungs. So lungs will become less or more congested. So what happens is, it causes increased pulmonary congestion. Increase pulmonary congestion, okay. And if there is increased pulmonary congestion, you tell me kids, what will happen? He will find it, मजा आ गया, जिंदगी बन गया, or he will become difficulty in breathing will increase. So what happens? It causes difficult breathing. Why? Because of too much blood in the lung. So there is no exchange. So difficult breathing. That is dyspnea. Dyspnea. And this dyspnea which is occurring is caused by what? Lying straight. So this is given a special name, orthopnea. Orthopnea. So what is the name? Orthopnea. Easy. So what is orthopnea? It is congestion in the lung on lying straight. It's a feature of which failure? LVF. 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 Okay. So that is why what do you ask the patient to do? He should be propped up. So how do he sleep? He sleep like I am there. I put pillows behind my back and then I sleep like this. ऐसे दिख रहा है? So he is sleeping. So therefore we ask him to make the feet down and the head and chest upright. Okay. So that's why how does this fellow sleep? So that is why this person sleep propped up by pillows, and special bed is also there. So in shock we raise the legs, and in orthopnea congestion we decrease the legs. So very important. So propped up condition like this. Okay, I am not good in diagrams, please don't make fun of me. So like this. Okay, what the idea? So bed, this is the bed, chair, so this is what he will sleep. Okay, propped up position. Are you clear? Not straight, he sleep in propped up position. Okay, so remember, in and the legs are down, legs hanging down. Okay, and in shock you raise the leg, and in hypovolemic shock, not congestive shock, hypovolemic shock, okay, what happens? You raise the legs and make patient lie down. Easy. See, medicine is very interesting. Okay, so if you want to increase blood supply to the heart, you will raise the legs. Okay, raise the legs like in hypovolemic shock or some neurogenic shock. But if there is congestive heart failure, cardiac shock, the heart is already having problem pumping the blood, why you want to increase the load? So then you make the legs down. So a patient's legs are brought down and he feel relief, and a person is in shock, the legs must be raised. So that's why we can either raise the legs if there is a hypovolemic shock, or you can make the legs down depending on the venous return. Are you clear? Now one more thing is, this LVF patient, this congestion can increase slowly. So what happens? As it keep increasing, what happens? It keep rising, and now what happens? Sudden waking in sleep with breathlessness. With breathlessness. What is it called as? It is called as PND. PND. What is PND? Paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea. Okay, so what is the term? Let's dissect, my kids, dissect. So first, what is paroxysmal? It means sudden. So it means just sudden. What is nocturnal? It is obviously sleep, night ना, दिन में कौन सोता है? Okay. And finally, dyspnea is difficulty in breathing. Easy. I am telling you once again, medicine is the most logical subject with things. I know it's hectic sometimes to remember all orthopnea, leg raising, propped up, this, pillow, PND, edema, curly B line, all. But there's no other option. If you learn everything properly, you will become very good doctors and also solve any question. Okay, easy. Okay, now we see the second factor. Second factor affecting the venous return, okay, is which one? It is muscle pump, also called as peripheral heart. Okay, also called as anti-gravity pump. Okay, anti-gravity pump. Okay, so muscle pump, peripheral heart, and anti-gravity pump. Okay, now why are they called so? The answer is they are basically calf muscles. So they are which muscles? They are basically calf muscles. Now you will ask a question, sir, what do the calf muscle do? That's what I am telling you. The calf muscle, when they contract, what they do is, these calf muscle, they squeeze, like example, soleus. They squeeze leg veins, they squeeze leg veins and increase venous return. Okay, so what they're doing? They are like pumps. So what happens? So they will send blood from legs to the heart. So what is heart pumping blood? From the center to the periphery, that is legs. And what is the calf muscle doing? They are pushing the blood back from the periphery legs to the heart. So called as what? Peripheral pump. And the blood is rising where? Upward, let's say the feet. And this is a vein. Let's say I made a green pen for the, this is a vein, okay. So now what happens is, as the calf muscle start to contract, they are obviously going to compress this. Are you clear? So this causes a compression, and as it compresses, the blood will rise up. Are you clear? So as calf muscle, okay, contract, they will push blood in upward direction, okay. And when is this pump most effective? When you're walking. And remember, most effective during walking, jogging, etc. So that is why keep walking and maintain your circulation. Are you clear? Okay. Number 3 I've done already. Okay, venous valves. So I told you already that in the legs, valves are very prominent. Why? Because their purpose is to prevent the backflow. Why? Because when the calf muscle contract, the blood will go up, but when the blood try to fall, they will close. So that's why these valves will prevent backward flow of the blood. Otherwise the blood will keep falling down. So what they do? They prevent backflow. They will prevent the backflow of the blood. I hope it's clear. So they will prevent any kind of backflow. Are you clear? So they will prevent the backflow. Okay. Example, leg veins. And if the walls are defective, it causes a problem called as what? Called as varicose veins. Okay. So varicose veins are nothing but defect in the valves, and as these valves are defective, the blood will accumulate in the veins, and that create the problem. Okay. Number 4 is inspiration, which I discussed already. When you take a deep inspiration, the negative pressure pull blood toward the heart. So that is why a deep inspiration will increase venous return by more suction of blood toward heart. More suction of blood towards heart. Easy? So that is why the venous return will rise on inspiration. Okay. So the very important finding, and I've discussed that already. Okay. What? When I discuss the Kussmaul sign. Okay. Number 5. There is also sympathetic nerves. Now what is the function of sympathetic nerves is? Sympathetic nerves are having a very important effect. They cause venoconstriction. Venoconstriction via what receptor? Alpha 1. Via alpha 1. And if you compress the veins, the blood in the veins stay or shift to the heart. So that's why what happens, as they constrict, again they compress the veins. They compress the veins and it will shift blood towards the heart. So it will increase venous return. Okay. So that's what a very important topic. It causes an increase in the venous return. Okay. And I think you all are always having confusion. One is the class of the shock, 1, 2, 3, 4. And second is about the types of shock: neurogenic, cardiogenic, septic, anaphylactic, distributive, hypovolemic. You are always confused. Trust me, I will make it so simple. You will never ever have any confusion about the type of shock: warm shock, cold shock, then urine output, all this. Okay, so don't worry. If you understand the basic physiology, medicine will be a piece of cake. Even surgery, they teach na, general surgery. So if sympathetic nerves are cut, what happens to venous return? It will decrease. It will decrease. So that is what happens in the case there is a fall in sympathetic. Okay. Number 6 is what? Deep fascia. Deep fascia. Okay. Now what the funda about the deep fascia is? So the funda about the deep fascia is it is very thick and tight in legs. Okay, I'll give example, very simple example. Athletes who are running, they want good circulation, good return, so they wear stockings, and these stockings keep the muscles and the veins compressed. So it keep muscles and veins compressed. So they keep the muscles and veins compressed, thereby increasing the venous return. Thereby increasing the venous return. That's why deep fascia, if it become very stiff and cause some kind of injury, fracture, inflammation, it cause a very serious condition called as what? Called as the compartment syndrome, in which there is such a high pressure in the deep fascia compartment, it can cause ischemia and myonecrosis of the muscle, and that cause Walkman's ischemic contracture. So that's why you do fasciotomy to relieve the pressure. It's a very important concept. Okay. Number 7 is what? Is the cardiac pump. And who's the cardiac pump? Heart. Cardiac pump is our heart. Okay. Now heart and body, they are in a relationship. Okay, clear? And it's a good relationship. Okay, like you give me something, I will give you something back. Okay, all relationship which are based on mutual understanding, give and take, are successful. Okay, one-sided relationships are never good. Okay, so heart is giving blood to the body, that is called as cardiac output. Okay, cardiac output. Okay, and body gives the blood back, that is called as venous run. So obviously if there is increase in cardiac output, heart start pumping more blood. So heart is pumping cardiac output, so heart is pumping more cardiac output, so body will get more blood and it will return more return to the heart. So that's why in simple language, cardiac output and return are proportional to each other, and vice versa, venous return is proportional to cardiac output. So they are proportional to each other. High cardiac output increase the VR, and high VR increases the cardiac output. So high cardiac output, high VR, high. So let me summarize it very fast. So what are the factors on which return depends? Remember, return depends. So one is gravity. How? Max VR in supine. So max VR in supine. Okay. Next is muscle pump, that is calf muscles. They increase the VR by contraction. Then valves prevent the backflow, valves. Then we have the sympathetic and inspiration, both increasing the venous return. So both increase the venous return. Okay, and then deep fascia compress and increase the return, and finally heart. Heart increases cardiac output, that increase venous return back to the heart. So this is the summary of the factors we have discussed. Always summarize in the end so that you are able to remember them, not just for exam but for understanding the further concepts. Okay, clear? So we'll take a very small break, 15 minutes. Okay, because I don't want you to oversaturate, and we'll finish the class after I think 1.5 hours. Okay, so around 7:40, 7:45 we'll finish the class, and cardio is almost we have covered 60-70%. We'll do the remaining and then do. Okay, so 15 minutes break. Okay, clear? And this time I think we'll create a link. Okay, it's a very long session, so a new link. Okay, so wait for new link. Okay.